Hey everybody, it's Suzanne A. Wells, and this is my March 2021 sales update video. Just some foreshadowing. This month was so much better than February, so it seems like we are on the upswing finally. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to watch my videos. And if you are new here, the purpose of my sales update videos are to show what the average seller can do with an at-home eBay business, just selling items you find in thrift stores, garage sales, estate sales, mostly used and vintage items. So we are going to start off with clothing because that is what I know the best. I have been selling clothing my entire career on eBay, which goes back to 2003. Although I am scaling back on that, I will still always sell clothing. So this was a brand I had not heard of before, but the quality was outstanding. It's called Nilly Loughton. It was a cashmere blend poncho. Gorgeous. I actually had this displayed on my mannequin who's on vacation right now. I'm using her as a prop in my guest room. So that might be the secret to selling something, is use it as home decor and then it will sell. But I paid $2.89 for this, sold it on best offer of $55. Profit was $45.23. This is an expensive brand called Flax, F-L-A-X. Their items are either 100% linen or mostly linen. So this was a brand on my BOLO list, stands for Be on the Lookout. I find this sometimes, not a whole lot. This was an oversized shirt that could also be worn as a jacket. I paid $6.35, sold it for full asking price of $49.97. My profit was $39.12. This is a Lilly Pulitzer cardigan sweater. I paid $6.35. Oh, it's 100% cashmere, my favorite thing to sell. I took an offer of $42 just a couple of days after it was listed. I had the asking price at $49.97, so that was close enough for me. Profit was $30.94. Here's another cashmere sweater. This was Kirkland brand, which is Costco's brand. I paid $6.35, took an offer of $42. Profit was $30.91. And one more sweater. This brand is Premise, 100% cashmere open front cardigan. I paid $6.35, took an offer of $35. Profit was $24.77. In March, swimsuit sales started picking up. This is a Spanx swimsuit. I love the name of this line. It's called Love Your Assets. That's really clever. I paid $6.35 for this, sold for $34.97, full asking price. Profit was $24.18. And a couple of pairs of shoes. I'm kind of getting out of the shoe business. I'm just not super excited about them anymore. But if I do see higher end brands in great condition, I will pick them up. However, this pair was free. This is Naot is the brand, N-A-O-T. It's out of Israel. I paid $0, took an offer of $40. Profit was $33.91. People know what I do, that I sell on eBay, and a lot of times they just give me stuff. And they don't even want the money for it. They're just like, here, I was going to give this to Goodwill. I don't like it. It doesn't fit right. maybe you can do something with it. So I love those friends. Another free pair from the same friend, Naote. I paid $0 for these, took an offer of $35. Profit was $30.49. Now here's a fun item that came from the baskets of junk on the ends of the racks at Goodwill, like the end cap where they put belts and gloves and hats and people throw stuff in there when they change their mind and all that kind of stuff. This was a vintage pair of LL Bean gloves. They were made of deerskin leather, and the lining was this weird combination of wool and raccoon fur, and it was just very unusual. I'd never seen that combination of materials before. So these were $3.18, took an offer of $40, and my profit was $32.29. And I am transitioning towards smaller items that take up less room, are lightweight and easy to ship, and this is perfect for that business model. And here's another item that's perfect is suspenders. This was a pair of Dooney and Burke men's suspenders. I paid $3.18, took an offer of $37.97. My profit was $29.96. Bras are doing well, but I'm only going to show you this one because that might be really boring just to see a bunch of bras in a row. You can always go to my eBay store and click on sold items and see exactly what I'm selling. So if this video is not enough information, that option is always there for you, and there's a link below the video that takes you to that page in my store that shows everything that's sold from most recent to least recent. So anyway, this is a Victoria's Secret Dream Angels bra. I paid $4.24. It sold for full asking price of $32.97. My profit was $22.88. Here's another item that came out of the treasure baskets on the end caps of the Goodwill. Vintage LL Bean wool blend hat / beanie. I paid $2.12 for this and sold it for $40 on best offer. Profit was $33.32. And I thought this was so unusual with the husky dogs on it. Just an unusual pattern that I'd never seen before. But the thrifting gods were with me that week because I was at a different store about 20 miles away from where I found this one, and look, I found another one just like it. Different color, missing the pom-pom. So I thought that was really unusual to find two of these in the same week at different places. This one sold for less because I think the color was not as exciting as the blue one and it was missing the pom-pom. But I paid $2.20 for this, took an offer of $24, and profit was $19.42. Okay, the next couple of items are going to be my fails of the month. I'm trying to sell more kitchen items just to have a more diverse offering. And I've decided I'm just not good at knives. Now, trust me, if I see Cutco knives, I will definitely get those. But what I did here was purchase this set for $20. It was $21.20 plus tax at a church thrift store, and it came with the block. And this listing just sat and sat and sat, so I changed it and sold it without the block. And that was a better result for me than selling it all together with the block, because the block makes it so heavy. And a lot of times people don't need the block, they just want the knives. So my profit on this one wasn't great. It was $11.34, but at least it wasn't a loss. And I learned that maybe knives sell better without the block. You might disagree. I know sellers who are very good at selling kitchen items, and they know more than I do. And this was Hinkle's, so not a super high-end brand, but that was one of my experiments. Also, I sold this mismatched set of sabatier knives. These I put together by going through the entire basket of cutlery and knives at Goodwill. It probably took 20 minutes to look through all of that. And this is what I came up with. And I just didn't like that process. I like looking through plush better. So it's all about what you like and how you want to spend your time. But I paid a total of $5.50 for these mismatched knives. Took an offer of $15.97. My profit was $9.18, so not a complete loss. And I learned that that is not really my jam, looking through knives. Okay, this is one of the funnest items I sold this month and ever. This is Frankie the Fish, a McDonald's promotional item. I paid $2.89. It sold for $55. Profit was $45.23. And let me tell you why I picked up this item. It was in the toy section, and there was a girl next to me with her maybe 3-year-old child. And the girl was maybe in her late 20s. And she picked this up and started playing it. You push the button and it plays. And she just was laughing. She's like, "Oh, I remember this. We used to have this." And that is all I needed to hear was, "I remember this," from maybe a millennial-aged person. So I started talking to her. I'm like, "Well, what is that?" She's like, "Oh, we used to have this, and it plays this funny song, and we just used to play with this all the time. My grandpa thought it was so funny." And I was like, "Well, are you going to buy it?" And she's like, "No." And her kid was playing with it, and he just kept playing it over and over and over again. And I'm like, "Well, when he's done, I would love to buy that, so just let me know." And she's like, "Here, you can take it right now. He's so annoying." So I did make a video of this Frankie the Fish and put it on my listing. So here is that video.
Give me that nipple fish. Give me that fish. Give me that nipple fish. Give me that fish. What if it were you hanging up on this wall? If it were you in that sandwich, you wouldn't be laughing at all. So give me back the filet fish. Give me that fish. Give me back the filet fish. Give me that fish.
Isn't that a riot? That's just so funny. But the kicker on this was the person who bought it, his first name was Jesus. And I thought, oh, that's the perfect ending to this story. Jesus bought this fish. So I got a kick out of that. But it sold in just a couple of weeks. So look out for this one, Frankie the Fish, a McDonald's promotional item that sings the Filet-O-Fish song. Okay, another fun one was The Count from Sesame Street. This is a plush you don't normally see when you're digging through all the teddy bears and the brown dogs and everything looks the same. So he was $3.18, and he sold for $34.97. Okay, sorry, I couldn't resist on that one. Profit was $27.98. I was just having way too much fun last month selling all these hilarious items. Okay, another plush. This is DW, the little sister from the Arthur cartoon on PBS. I paid $1.10 for her. Took an offer of $20. She went to Canada. Profit was $14.09. And this was my item when I was a baby. This was part of the downsizing, getting ready to move back in December, where my kids and I were going through everything and thinking, do I want to move this again? So this is a vintage layette set from the 1960s. I paid $0, took an offer of $22. Profit was $19.69. And I know some of you are going to judge me and say, how could you possibly sell your baby sweater? Well, it's just been sitting in a tub for decades. Maybe I get it out and look at it once every 10 years. Somebody could be using this. A lot of times these things are used for doll clothing. In nursing homes, they actually have these lifelike dolls where they put clothes on them, and especially for patients suffering from dementia, holding this doll, they think it's a baby, or it simulates holding a baby, and it calms them and it's good for them. So I've sold baby clothing that has been used for that purpose. So my mission is to rehome things that I'm not using and I am not emotionally attached to. And my kids didn't want it. So why not rehome it and make somebody else happy? That's just the way I feel about it. Feel free to comment below if you think that is wrong. Okay, another item, this cross-stitch kit. I paid $2.12 for this. It sold for full asking price of $39.97. Profit was $33.98. I love finding these kits. Needlework is easy to sell, it's easy to ship, it's easy to photograph, it doesn't take up much room. Perfect for my business model. This is a lot of printer ink. I paid $6.95 for this, took an offer of $35. Profit was $22.70, and that was super easy. And this is a fun and unusual item. I found this in the junk in the back of Goodwill. Old Spice travel soap. It was a cardboard container with the soap on the rope and a scrubby sort of like poof thing in there with it. So perfect for traveling or, any number of uses where you want to bring your own soap. This cost me $1.06. It sold for full asking price of $19.97. Profit was $16.99, and this was so easy to list and ship. This is a vintage Maury luggage leather planner. The only memory I have of Maury luggage is going to the mall as a teenager and thinking that is the most boring store in the mall. Who would even go in there? Because that's what you did in the 80s when you were in high school. You were a mall rat and you just hung out there and got a cookie and got a drink and walked around and looked for your friends and tried on clothes that you were never going to buy. So Maury luggage is burned into my brain as the most boring store in the mall. Anyway, this leather planner cost me 63 cents. Took an offer of $30. Profit was $27.45. And yes, people still use leather planners. Not everyone is tied to their phone for every single purpose of note-taking and calendaring and all that kind of stuff. People really do like these leather planners, and I've noticed the ones I've sold go to businesses where they're going to be outdoors, landscapers, construction, remodeling, stuff like that, where they would carry around a notebook or a planner. So just keep that in mind. Okay, this is a pair of MMA Pro Style grappling gloves, new in the package. Paid $4.24 for this. It sold for $32.97. Profit was $25.16. Okay, and this is the last sale I'm going to share with you, but it is the most interesting. This is my daughter's Beatrix Potter handmade baby quilt. Someone made this for her when she was born, and it was another one of those items that was packed away. we have so many pictures of her with this quilt. But she's like, no, I don't need it. I'm probably never going to use it. And why don't we just sell it and see what happens? So I listed it, and you can see it's got her name on it. Well, it sold for full asking price of $99.97. And I received a message from the buyer who was in Venezuela, and it was in Spanish. So I went over to Google Translate and popped in her message, had it translated, and she was confirming that the name Melanie was on the blanket. And yes, I confirmed that. I said it was for my daughter, who's named Melanie. Do you have a baby Melanie? And she replied with, yes, it is for my baby Melanie. So I just thought that was the sweetest ending to selling this item. You know, it's going to someone on a different continent who has a baby with the same name, and this person can enjoy it. It's not just going to sit in a tub in the closet for another 10, 15 years until it probably would be donated somewhere. So the moral of the story here is it's okay if items are personalized. There will be other people in the world with that name. So if it's a high quality item or a brand name item like, LL Bean or Land's End that has a monogram on it or even a full name, duffel bags, backpacks, all those kind of things, they will sell with a name on them. So give that a try if you're thinking it's not going to work, because I'm here to tell you it does work. Okay, the wrap up. Number of items in my store, 383 at the end of March. I'm still hovering around 400 items, and that works for me. I sold 80 items in March. Total profit was $1,254. Last month, February, it was only 900 and something, so definitely a better month. Average profit per item, $15.64. I am still clearancing out things that I would not buy now, taking less than $10 offers just to rehome them and move them out of my store. I'll admit, last summer, 2020, everything was selling because so many stores were still closed and everybody was on lockdown and people were buying online. And so I admit I overbought. I bought a lot of summer clothing and t-shirts and swimwear that were brands and styles that I wouldn't normally buy because it was such an unknown to everyone. What's going to sell? What do people want? And so I focused on clothing that could be worn outdoors because that's what was open. You could go to parks, you could go to the beach, but the stores were closed, so people had to get clothing for those activities somewhere. And I did very well last summer of 2020. So things have shifted now, and some of those things I bought just knowing they would sell then aren't doing so great now. And that's part of eBay. Things are going to shift and things are going to change, and you have to roll with it. Okay, and I want to remind you about my podcasts on Spotify. Check that out. It's a different format than YouTube, and it's portable, and you can listen in the car or while you're exercising or cleaning house or doing whatever. So the link to that is below the video. Check that out and make sure to follow me so that you are notified of new episodes. Okay, that is the wrap up for March of 2021. Thanks again for stopping by and watching. I appreciate all of you, and make sure to have a profitable and productive and fun day on eBay. Bye.